Today we are going to be looking at how to make your own lightweight Windows ISO. Most of you are familiar with Tiny 11 and Tiny 10 that you've been using to make the bigger images for Windows very small. But the difference is that we are going to use PowerShell. So with PowerShell, you get to choose the packages you don't want to use, the ones you want to disable. You get to choose the default programs that come preloaded with the Windows. For example, you may choose not to use the Microsoft Store, maybe Paint. You may choose to disable WordPad, all those features. So all the features you disable, they reduce the size for your Windows image. So we are going to need these two features. The first one, we are going to need the Windows image. The Windows image, maybe you have Windows 10, it's okay. If you have Windows 11, it's okay. For my case, I'm going to be using Windows 11. Then we shall also need another small tool called the modewin. Thanks to Jenna from Xander. The modewin is going to link your image that you're going to work to the PowerShell. Okay, so I'll put the link in the description for you to download the simple tool. So for starters, how do we get? So we are going to start from getting the Windows 11 image, and we mount the Windows 11 image. So I'm going to right click on the Windows image, and I'm going to go to mount. Then I'll say open. So that is the mounted Windows 11. Then when you finish that, go back to our files, go to modewin. Now install modewin. Just double click. It's going to run. So it is, if you are finished installing, it is going to show you that has installed successfully. Okay. Now when you're done with that, we are going to go to my PC. I'll go to this PC, then go look for where the Windows is installed. I'll open local disk C, then look for modewin. You'll be able to see your folder. Now open that folder for modewin. You can see that we have different files and folders within the modewin. Okay, now what you're going to have to do is you're going to go and open this folder which has ISO or ISO. Open that folder. So when you finish, go back to the Windows ISO that has been mounted. Then Control All and copy. When you finished copying, go back to your ISO file. Remember, we are in modewin, okay? ISO, then right click and paste everything there. So we are going to paste the files from the image to the modewin. Okay, so when we are done with that, then we shall go back to the main modewin folder. Then look for modewin, this one, a batch file. Run the batch file. So we shall have something like that, requesting administrator privileges. Then continue to say yes. Okay. When you finish, we shall have something like this. Okay. Now, if you look at this, we have a command prompt that is showing us a few options that we can choose from. Okay. There are two main ones. Option 1 is an all-in-one removal script, which means it will remove all the apps, the packages, and the features that are not necessary for Windows to function on a basic level. Then we have option 2. Option 2 is going to let you modify your ISO image to remove the apps and features of your choice. And I think the remaining options are steps in the same process. So the option we are going to choose is option number 2. So we are going to enter number 2, then we shall hit enter. Okay, now the program is going to ask you to choose whether your ISO has a WIM file or an ESD file. Remember, we have different types of Windows images. Some are WIM, some are ESDs. Okay, now if you are not sure of the type of file you have, the best way you can do it, you can go back to the ISO file that we copied to the WinWim. Okay, go back to the ISO here folder. Then when you go to the ISO folder, go and open sources. Look for this sources. So when you open sources, scroll down and look for install. Look for a file that has the word install. Okay, so if you see here, I have install. Now if you look at install, I have install.wim, meaning that now my file that I have is a WIM file. If you have an ESD file, it is going to show you install.esd. Okay, so now you're going to go back to our command prompt and we're going to enter number 2 because we have a WIM file. But if you have an ESD file, then you have to choose option 1. So I'll enter number 2, then I'll hit enter. Okay, now you see we have a list of all the editions of Windows that are contained in our file or the ISO file. Now basically you will want to choose the Windows you have on your PC or the Windows you are running. Okay, for instance, because I'm running Windows 11 Pro, so I'll go for Pro. Okay, but we have all the different versions for Windows, so look for the Windows that you are running, and you may also need the license key for it. So now I'm running Windows 11 Pro, so enter the index number corresponding to the edition of the Windows that you have or that you need to use. Okay, so if I have Windows 11 Pro, I'm going to enter index 6. Okay, so come down and enter the index. Now I'll put 6 and I'm going to enter. Press any key to continue and again enter twice. Okay, now the program is going to begin extracting the WIM file. So we can wait for the program to finish. Now, when the program finishes, you're going to see a confirmation message. We're going to see a confirmation message to show that the program has finished. Okay, so they're saying that the operation completed successfully. Now we are going to press enter to return to the main menu. When you hit enter, you go back to the main menu. Now we are going to select option number 3 to mount the WIM, okay, or the WIM file. So I'm going to enter 3 and I'll hit enter. Okay, now we are going to wait for the process to finish and we are going to be returned to the main menu, okay, in case the process has finished. So it may take a while depending. So I'll pause a little bit, then come back when it has finished. Okay, we are finished. Now that the WIM has been mounted, it is ready to be modified. You should see all the files inside. If you go to the modewin folder, if you go to this file for path, okay, if you check your path folder, you should see that you have some folders, but do not touch those folders. Okay, just leave them like that. Now go back to our command prompt. When you go back to the command prompt, now the next step is choosing what apps you want to remove from the Windows installation. For that, we are going to follow the following steps. Now, from the main menu of modewin, we are going to select option number 4. We shall select number 4, apps, packages and features options. So we are going to press number 4 and we hit enter. Now you will have a few options for things you can remove or modify. So we have the app packages. The app packages refer to the parts of Windows that are apps on the Microsoft Store, such as maybe the Xbox, the phone link, the weather app. Then for B, the packages include maybe some basic drivers that are essential for the functionality of your Windows, such as maybe networking, certain Windows features such as WordPad. Then C, we have features. These ones include the optional Windows features, maybe such as Hyper-V. Now, if you would like to see what apps you want to disable, we're going to look at the apps we want to disable. So you're going to press 1 and hit enter. Okay, so you press 1 and you hit enter. Now you're going to see a list of app packages included in the Windows installation. Some of the names, if you look at this, okay, some of the names may not be completely accurate to the user. Maybe the names are not user friendly. Okay, if you look at different examples that we have here. So for example, you can see that we have Microsoft. You see this one, Microsoft Communications app. This one refers to the mail, the calendar, the people's apps, but most of them can be easy to identify. Okay, so now I'll choose the ones I want to disable or to remove. Now if you want to remove any app, you have to press 1 and hit enter. If you want to remove any of the apps, we're going to hit 1 for yes, then we shall say enter. Okay, now they're telling you to paste your app. Now what you're going to do, you're going to copy the name of the app package you want to remove. Then you paste it into the command field. So I'll go for the Windows camera. I'm just assuming I don't want maybe the Windows camera app. Maybe someone does not want the Windows notepad. So you double click this, then you Control C, copy, then you come and paste. Now, when you finish pasting, you're going to hit enter. See? Then you're going to see that the operation has been successfully completed. Now, if in case you need to remove other apps, you're going to repeat the same step for the number of apps that you would want to remove. You have to go back and repeat the same steps. Okay? Then maybe we want to remove any other app. I can show you. For example, we want to remove now maybe the Xbox, this one. Okay, I want to remove the Xbox. I'm going to say enter so that I can go back to the main menu. Okay, you see that? So when you finish, I'm going to come and double click maybe the Windows Alarm or Windows Photo, anything that you want. I'll go for Microsoft Paint, double click that one, then I'll control copy. Okay, remember that you have to first say number 1 for yes. When you finish, you control and press the app that you want to remove and you hit enter. You see that one? Okay, operation is completed successfully. Then I'll again hit enter to continue. Then I'll go and choose another app that I want. Maybe this time I'll take the Windows Store, double click that one. Okay, then I'm going to control copy. Then you have to first choose 1 for yes. After choosing 1 for yes, then you have to paste your app below. Then you hit enter again. Okay, then I can now this time I'm going to hit enter to continue. Then I can come and choose, maybe I don't want the Windows Maps or the Windows Camera or the Windows Calculator. Okay, I'll double tap that. Control copy. Then I'm going to choose one first for yes. Then I'm going to paste and I'll hit enter. Okay, so now that is what so look for all the apps that you do not want and you can remove them from here. Okay, now if you have removed all the apps that you want, then you can now press tool, okay, and hit enter to go back to the main menu. When you go back to the main menu, we are going to go again to option number 4, apps, packages and features. So I'll hit option 4 and I'll hit enter. This time we are going to choose option number 2 to remove the packages. So if I hit 2, enter. Now this functions the same way as removing app packages. So if you want to remove a package, maybe like you see on the list, what you're supposed to do is you follow the same, okay? So you have to first go there asking, would you like to remove the packages? Yes, you press 1 for yes, like we did the last one, okay? So I'll say 1, then I'll say enter. Then you come and look for the package that you want to disable, okay? But remember to be careful with the packages, okay? Make sure you remove only the things you know of how maybe they operate, or you can even research before you remove most of the packages. So I'll come and choose maybe, let me just take maybe DirectX. I'll just take that one, double click, control copy, then you come and you paste, control V, and you hit enter. Okay, process, okay, removing the package. So you copy the name of the package, you paste it into the field and you press enter. So you repeat the same process. So I'll choose another package. Maybe I will take let me take this Windows. Let me look for a package that I don't want. Maybe let me go for these drivers. Double click that one, control copy, then you come and first choose option 1 for yes, then you control and paste, control V, the package. Okay, then you hit enter. Please make sure that you always first hit yes, then you paste. Okay, so you can repeat the process and repeat until you get rid of the packages that you do not need. So I'm going to go back to the main menu by hitting any key. So now when you say enter, we have to go to number 2, choose no. When you go back to the main menu again, look for option number 4, apps, packages and features. Then I'll hit 4 again. Then this time we're going to press 3 to see the features that we can maybe disable. Okay. Now the features include the features that are enabled and the ones that are disabled. Okay. So now you can choose to disable, you can choose to enable a feature. There are many different features that are disabled and enabled. Okay. Now if you look at this, we have the Hyper-V, it is disabled. If you look at, so there are many features here. So you can just come and look for the feature that you want to disable or enable. But since we are trying to make our ISO very light, I think we can look for the features that are enabled and we shall disable them. Okay. So you can enable, if you see this, we have the PowerShell enabled. We have the Net FX4 also enabled. So we're going to look for any of them and disable. Okay. You can even disable the Windows Defender if you do not want it. Okay, so let me go for Windows Defender. I will copy that. Okay, but please do not disable the Windows Defender. Okay, so when you finish, you go back down, scroll, then go to option number 1 for yes. Then you enter Windows Defender, press enter. Okay, that's now they're disabling the Windows Now for this one, if the option is disabled, the moment you say enter, they're going to enable it. If you say disable, they're going to disable it. Okay? If it is disabled, they will enable. If it is enabled, they're going to disable it. Okay? So we shall continue. Enter, go back. Maybe now the last one I can maybe disable this one. Let me go for that. Control copy. Please make sure that you first research before you disable. So we have that. So I'm going to Control and V, paste, enter. We are going to disable that one. Okay, so when you finish, you hit enter. The operation is successful. So, and we shall number 2 choose option 2 to exit, and we shall go back to the main menu. Okay, so when you go back to the main menu, this time now the third section we have is exporting the ISO. Now that we've made all the modifications, we've done all the disabling, so we are going to skip most of the sections. Okay, for number 5 it's not necessary. Okay, that one is optional, you can leave that one. The same applies to maybe number 6, that one, just leave that one. Okay, so I think we shall go to option number 7. Okay, now that we finished the modifications, let us go and unmount the WIM and build our ISO options. Okay, so you can click option number 7, unmount, enter. Now the simplest way to choose option 1. Okay, the simplest way to choose option 1, which will save your changes. Okay, it will also clean up all the temporary files and build a new ISO. But if you want, you can go to option number 2 to discard all the changes you've made. You can also go to option number 3 to unmount the WIM only and save the changes. Okay, or you can go to option number 4 to build only the ISO. But we are going to choose option number 1. So you're going to enter 1 and you hit enter. Okay, now the modewin is going to start by saving our changes and unmounting the WIM file. Okay, so we are going to, after that, once we have to wait for it to finish. When it finishes, we have to choose whether we want to compress the WIM file into the ESD format. Okay, so let us first wait for it to finish. It may take a while depending on your computer speed and the size of your ISO. Okay, so in case it finishes, then I'll be back. Okay, it is 100%. So let us wait for it to finish. Okay, unmounting image, 4%, 6%, we can wait. So I'll be back still. So let me pause and come back when it has finished. Okay, now we have finished unmounting the file. Okay, so now they're saying, do you want to compress the WIM to an ESD now? But it will take more time. And the advantage of converting to the ESD file is like you get a smaller ISO size. Your ISO size is going to be very, very small, but it takes a lot of time. Okay, so in case you need maybe a smaller size, you need a very, very small size for an ESD file, for an ISO image, you can convert it to ESD. Okay, but if you don't care about the file size, then you can go and continue. Okay, so that depends on what you want. If you want a really very small size, like the one maybe for the Tiny 11, you can go for that and convert to ESD. Okay, so now we are going to press 1 to compress the file, or we can press 2 to leave it as a standard WIM file. So now first we are going to choose 2. Okay, we shall continue with the standard WIM file. So I'll press 2 and I'll hit enter. Okay, now we shall wait for the process to finish, and now when the process finishes, we shall go and try to locate for our ISO file. Okay, now they're saying all is done. Now that is the process. So now when we have finished we have to go and check for our ISO. Okay, so now press enter to continue, then exit like that, any key. If you are finished, we shall go to the mode, look for this mode folder to check for our ISO. Then you're going to find our disk image. Okay, so we shall copy that just to compare. I want us to compare with other one. Okay, so I'll copy that, then I'll go and paste it within the folder 4. I'll go and paste it with our light folder. I'll paste it here so that you can compare and see. Now if you look at the folders, you can see that this one was 5.7 gigabytes, but now the one we compressed, the win mode for the win mode image is 3.8 gigabytes. Okay, so 5.7 gigabytes and 3.8 gigabytes. Now I think you can compare and tell that we have made our simplified and a very light ISO Windows 11 image. Okay, now if you are ready, you can install your Windows 11 using maybe the Rufus. You can install it on the USB and install, but please make sure to disable your internet. Make sure you disable your internet, because if you don't disable the internet, it is going to undo all the changes. So disable your internet when you are installing the Windows image file, because if you don't disable the internet, it is going to undo all your changes. It will update from Microsoft and the changes are going to be undone. Okay, so thank you. That is it for you. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification button for more videos. Thank you and goodbye.